All right, people, you guys know what it is. The one and the only, the American Cholo podcast, broadcasting live and direct from North Hollywood, California. My name is Gil, and I am the American Cholo. And today we got a banger, man. The Valleros are in the building. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? Love being here.
How we doing? So,
doing great.
Just to let the people know, what we're trying to do here is get a segment going with the fellas over here. Mr. Lonely over here, Mr. Mohawk Matt over here. We're trying to get... Not trying, we're actually doing it because we're here, right?
Yep.
We're getting a segment with the boys here. Maybe we'll call it the Vallero Hour. I don't know. We'll
That's
right?
what I'm talking about.
The Vallero Hour. That
Yep.
doesn't sound too shabby. But before we start, I got some pretty exciting news. It looks like we will be getting our own studio here. We should be getting the keys by the first of the month. Meanwhile, we're gonna set up some cameras, security, all kind of stuff. We'll be staying local. We're staying North Hollywood. But on the top of the comment section up there, you see a link to our nonprofit. So we would hope that anybody that can sit here and donate $5, $2, $3, whatever it is, to help facilitate us from moving here to over there, because we want to go over there. We're gonna keep it professional. We want to sit there and make this place hopefully eventually like a compound where we can actually go there, speak about our issues, still do the entertaining podcast, but actually have a place where we can have a voice and sit there and have something for our people in the culture, man.
That's
so
right.
Anybody that can go and donate to the link that's up on top. We're doing big things. God has blessed us. The homie has blessed us. And with that being started, what's up, fellas?
Not much. It was a great day. We had a long day.
What you guys did today, man?
So I'm only allowed to say a little bit. I'm gonna be the host of some new reality tattoo show. We filmed our first pilot with the homie Conejo and Big Sleeps
Shout out
and
to
Yelly.
Conejo and Sleeps.
Yeah, we filmed it today. It's gonna be something like Gil shows up. Mohawk, what's up? I know you're that guy that knows all the artists. I want a cowboy on my thigh. I'm just being funny. Like, you come at me with some crazy idea. Okay, damn, who do I know? Let me bring you to this dude over here that does that kind of work. So Conejo's our first guy.
I said a cowboy on my thigh.
I was gonna say something funny, like, you know what I mean? I try to kick it off with something funny. I have to be careful in today's world what we say.
Yeah.
I almost, but it's got to be funny. Anyways, yeah. So that's the plan. I'm gonna connect celebrities with a great artist. Circles around. You get a tattoo. I get to be the host. It's gonna be awesome.
So what are they doing? They're doing tattoos, and you're just chopping up with them, or?
Well, like, I show up. What's up, Gil? Gil, you show up. Like, me and Conejo, like, because we already know each other. So
Right.
me and Conejo are chopping it up. He hits me with an idea, and I'm like, damn, okay. You know what? This person with Sleeps would be perfect to make that happen.
Okay.
So it's my job to connect your idea with the best artist who can bring that to light.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So when are you releasing?
Well,
the
we
first
filmed
episode?
we filmed the pilot today.
How'd it
so it went great. Conejo's great to work with.
Oh, that's the homie right there, man. Shout out to Conejo, man.
Big shout out to Conejo.
Big Sleep. Shout out to Prime. The whole that whole unit, homie.
Yep, the whole
Good
unit.
people, carnal. Good
Great people, yeah.
And what'd you go on for the ride, homeboy, or what?
I went for the ride. I wanted to see Big Sleep Studio. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking.
Big Sleeps has an amazing studio.
Yeah.
Really?
It's not a tattoo shop. It is an art studio.
Yeah.
That does tattoos.
That just happens to have little small tattoo areas. Like, these people do art on an amazing level.
Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff,
Dude.
dude. It's absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I think Sleep's been doing it for a minute. Let's see. Hold on, nothing. Shout out to you.
Sleeps is just like us, though. Came from the streets, you know what I mean? Stayed connected in his neighborhood, turned it into positivity.
Does a lot of good.
A lot of
work
good
in
for the community.
Yeah.
A lot of
Giving
good,
back
yeah.
to Pico Union.
Yep.
For sure, man, for sure.
Yeah.
So, we got some topics at hand that we want to sit here and discuss with you gentlemen here. We're going to start off with, let's start off today is Dodger Pride Night.
Oh, Lord.
There actually had a big protest out there with a lot of the Christian community out there, fighting for their rights
Yeah.
to sit there and say, why is it okay for you to mock us? Why is it okay for you to do this? So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, my thoughts. I was confused when I saw that going on. I got kind of involved in it because, my dad's been a Dodger fan. Obviously I was a Dodger fan. I'm from LA. I feel that whatever the reason is that people are getting involved in these topics, I feel like they're not taking into consideration, like, most of the community that supports them are not with that. Mind you, everyone has a freedom to do what they want. But when it comes to, like, your community is, let's just be honest, mostly Hispanic Catholics and or Christians. Yes. You have a lot of Jewish people. There's a lot of Armenian culture. There's a lot of white culture that are Dodger fans, diehard Dodger fans. And again, mind you, none of us are really against this extra stuff, but why would, if most of your community that supports your team is not really into this, you're going to go and do an expose or an artistic show based around humiliating. I mean, I believe in Jesus. Humiliating Jesus, the cross, that's horribly disrespectful.
Yeah.
As a fan, that makes me at that moment consider, I'm not one of those wishy-washy people. If I'm with you, I'm with you. And I feel when I see something like that, I mean, I'm not going to physically attack you, but at that moment, I have the right to say, I don't have to fuck with you no more. And I know that the Dodgers, that team doesn't deserve it, but if the people that control the team are going to put that out there, I don't know why the Dodgers don't stand up one day and not put them jerseys on.
Yeah, it's. I think it's just they're so afraid of being canceled nowadays. They don't, but but it's like they have no backbone. You know,
you're losing your backbone and not being being afraid.
Didn't Kershaw? Didn't he?
Kershaw's the only one that made a statement. I think he's the only one that made a statement.
Well, he made a statement, which is huge, but the real statement would be like, "No, we're not doing this. Man.
No, we're not.
We're not doing this.
We're the team. We don't support this either."
Yeah, because what it's come down to now is whether people want to agree or not, LGBTQ is a political party.
Yeah.
It's a far left political party. It's no longer, hey, I want to equal rights. It's I want all the rights, and I want everybody to think the way I do.
And the sad thing about that is they're also including a couple other groups that are very dangerous for the community. They're including colors for that new group. Have you heard? They're called MAPS.
Oh, dude, talk to me about that.
Bro, this is actually happening. There are psychologists backing up this movement where they're calling themselves, they have a terminology. It's called a MAP. You're a minor attracted person. I mean, shotguns get loaded at that point. There's nothing, I don't see how you justify, verify, argue for. Like they're including that in their group. They're including all the other stuff. Like that's.
I've seen those colors and I've seen people speak about it, but I haven't done enough, or I haven't got enough proof that it is, because they say one of those colors is for people that
and
are
what's happening is you're getting a lot of normal, regular people that don't even bother me. Like, I don't have a problem if you're gay. If you're an adult and you're gay, hey, homeboy, more
Get
power.
your money,
Get
homie.
your money.
Get your money.
Now, mind you, you don't need to. I don't feel you need to be on the streets parading around in your panties. If you want to be that way, I'm supportive of it. If you're an adult, it's your American right.
Right.
Don't keep it away from kids. Do your thing. But a lot of the normal gay people they're actually finally speaking out. Like, whoa, we don't want to be a part of this. Like, what's going on? Like, we don't even want our agenda pushed on kids. Like, so they're speaking out against all this weirdness as well. And they're like, wow, like this is ruining normal gay people's agenda.
It's a sexual preference. Somebody left a comment on one of the videos that I did about the Pride Night, right? And I said, because I have a problem with them teaching them at school, pushing that, because then you have to sit there and have that conversation with your kid. And they said to me, and I thought about this for a second, well, what are you going to tell your kid when he sees two girls kissing or two boys kissing? I said, what I would tell my kid is, Dad, why are they kissing? Because they love each other. That's it. Keep the conversation going. I don't need to sit there and say, oh, well, they have sex together.
Yeah, like why would you go in detail?
Yeah. That's what the schools are doing.
Yeah.
They're going into detail, and it seems like a lot of these groups want them to go into detail. And it is. It's like you're grooming these children.
You're grooming them.
To sit there and
future voters.
Future voters, and then eventually it's not also coincidental that now 25% of kids in school identify as LGBTQ.
That's insane. There was a thing about this girl at Granada Hills High School. Did you see that? No. She's identifying as a cat, and the school has to honor it. And the school's like, they're like, listen, like, okay, so they got out of it by saying, okay, you're a cat. I can respect that. Good thing about our safety of our school is we're not a dog, or we're not an animal center. So we're going to let you and allow you to be a cat, but we're going to have to ask you to leave the school. And the girl's like, no, you can't do that to me. And they're like, why? What do you want, a litter box on the front lawn? Like, what are you supposed to? She's like, well, Granada? Yeah, Granada. The girls, and so her family got involved and said, you will allow our daughter to identify. We do it at home. And the school's like, I'm sorry you entertain mental illness at home, but if your daughter's a cat, we will respect it. She just can't be on campus because we don't have the facilities for animals.
What was the name of that group that did that demonstrate? That was my problem, like my biggest problem. I'm raised in a Christian home. I am a man of faith. When I see people, men in panties and bras climbing up on a cross and mocking the crucifixion, like that's blasphemy.
That's
like,
blasphemy. Exactly. It is.
And what are you doing for the LGBTQ agenda by doing that? They had no intention other than just to
be disrespectful. Their whole intention was to be disrespectful clickbait to a bunch of Catholic, Latino, white, Jewish, Armenian, all of these other cultures that represent the Dodgers in our communities that stand by them. They're all being disrespected because that goes against all of our faith. And it's just it's amazing. But people are, if you notice, like what's happening around here, the elementary schools, the schools in Glendale, the community's not having it. They're showing up and they're shutting it down. They're finally getting a little bit active.
The community's getting involved, but unfortunately, the school district who runs it is still allowing the stuff to go on.
Yeah.
They had a big meeting out in where was
it Glendale? There was something big went on in Glendale.
There was one in Glendale. But there was another city too. They're having the meeting with all the school boards and all that. And to me, it's just like they're letting the crazy people take over.
Yeah.
They're not being adults. Like when you're speaking about stuff like that, it's a sexual preference.
Yes.
It's not about, they try to equate it to, like the civil rights.
It's not civil rights.
It's got nothing to do with civil rights. It's a sexual preference. So if you have to have that conversation with your kid, you got to sit there and have the bird and the bees talk.
Yeah.
And that's something that should be held for the parents.
Yeah, for the parents.
And I'm not sure what school district it is, but this was the one. They're having a debate because the school, what they want is if your kid comes and tells the teacher, hey, I want to identify as this or that, they don't want to tell the parents.
Yeah, they're saying they're removing the rights from the parents and they're putting the kids in a safe housing.
That's insane.
That's insane.
It's all about the parents need to know. It's not like, the parents going to go beat the kid. But if your kids identify as something else, I want to be the first to know. I don't.
Listen, when I was a kid, I swore I was Optimus Prime or Darth Vader for a good 9 to 10 months. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if my father took me out into the woods and Jedi trained me and actually showed me how to build a lightsaber? Like, imagine the damage that would have caused. Like, as a parent, you're supposed to help mold these children away from the ideas of fantasy. Like, you're not a cat. Stop. No offense, but my dad would smack me every few years, and I had it coming. I didn't call the cops on my dad. If I got smacked when I look back, I probably had it coming. We've also removed that aspect. A kid needs a smack every now and then.
Oh, hey,
bro, knock it off. You need to look at a kid and be like, stop it.
It's insane. On that note, happy Father's Day, everybody. Happy
Father's Day, Dad.
That was a perfect segue.
Hey, Dad, when you smacked me at Thanksgiving that one year, I love you, bro. I had that coming.
Right? As a person, happy Father's Day out there.
Sir.
You know, at least you had a dad to smack you around. Because a lot of us didn't even have that.
Well, you want to know something funny?
That was gone.
Mine was gone.
Yeah,
I remember calling my mom a bitch at Thanksgiving dinner. Look, did you see that I went into a whisper? That's how scared I still get.
Wow.
I said bitch to mom after making things. I was off my, I didn't even know I was a white boy at that point. I was hit that hard. I'll never forget. I never called my mom a bitch again.
My daughter didn't call. She's called me something. I think she was at the time like 13 years old. It was me, my wife, my daughter, and my son, and they were riding the bikes. And I forgot what she did, and she said, I think she told me, "Fuck you, Dad." I said, "What?" I said, I grabbed her out the bike. I fucking put her on the ground. I fucking smacked her in the mouth. Like, you ain't gonna fucking talk to me like that. You got me fucked up. I'm your father. You're gonna respect me.
Yeah.
She went home. My wife was like, no, and she went home. I'm gonna report you to the school tomorrow. This and that. My wife's like, you gotta call the cops right now. We were living in Burbank because what's gonna happen is she's gonna go to school tomorrow and she's gonna tell that they're gonna get the cops. You gotta call the cops right now. So my wife called the cops and told them the story. This is what happened. There was one young cop and one old school cop. The old school cop was like probably, I was barely maybe like 26, bro. So the old school cop was in his 40s.
Yeah.
The old school cop is like, what happened? I told him, I said, we're calling you ahead of time because we don't want my daughter to sit here tomorrow and go to her school and say, hey, my dad beat me. And all of a sudden I get a phone call, I get arrested. All right. So he said, what did she do? I said, she told me pretty much go fuck myself. So I fucking smacked her on the lips. So you don't talk to me like that. Okay. He said, let me go talk to her. Went in there, talked to her. The young guy stayed out. He came back out and I said, so what's going on? He's like, I told her that you're lucky you're not my daughter because if you were my daughter, you'd be bleeding. You don't, you don't speak to your father in that manner.
And kids learn. Didn't we learn? Did we learn or not?
Yes. And me and my daughter now, she's in her 30s. We can laugh about the situation. Yeah. But that's the difference between society then and society
and now they train these children to go to school and tell them if you're there's a difference in being abused. I was never physically abused. I got smacked for calling my mom a bitch after slaving over a stove for 2 solid days to make Thanksgiving dinner, and I had the nerve because the potatoes were not hot to call her a bitch. My father, man, bless his heart. You know what I mean? And then remember,
she wouldn't be wrong if she smacked you. When
they should have hit me with a turn. If you hit me, if she jumped on top of me after that and dope feeding me, I had it coming. Hey, you old enough to remember bar soap in the mouth?
Oh yeah.
You ever have that?
No,
I never.
I still hate
many bars.
I still hate Irish Spring. Irish Spring terrorizes me.
That's just a smell, fool.
Oh my God! But it got to the point where you learn, like, if my dad went like that, or man, all right, Dad, I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. But you need that discipline. And right
Yes.
now, what's missing in society is that discipline.
Yes.
Because nowadays, every kid is, he has mental issues. No, he's just acting like a fucking
Yeah,
asshole.
act like an asshole. You're not a cat. Stop it. You ain't no cat.
And kids,
grow up.
and kids were not always happy. That's part of living. It's part
Yes.
of living where, hey,
Learning.
I'm having a bad day. How can I get myself up?
Yes.
Nowadays, everybody's a winner.
Yeah.
No, you have to lose to know what it is to win and to know that
to know what to appreciate.
There's no character gets built without going through the process,
Yes.
falling down, getting up, making mistakes.
Yeah.
And nowadays, that's not the thing. Right? Nowadays, everybody's beautiful. You could be fucking 500 pounds and, oh my God, you're so beautiful. No, that's unhealthy. It's making a society of kids that think the world is just that easy and you're going to go out there and nothing's going to. No, the world is a jungle, brother.
It's a jungle.
The world is a fucking jungle. And what I see with this young generation, not all, but a good chunk of them, they're being fed all kind of lies of how life is going to treat you, because what's going to happen is they're going to go out there in the real world and they're going to get ran over.
Yeah, I agree.
They're going to get ran over.
Yeah.
But with that, happy Father's Day. Also, happy graduation to all the children out there, to the families out there. I had a lot of nieces and nephews that graduated from high school, junior high, college, getting some real good grades. And to me, that's dope, homie.
That is dope.
That's dope that we can see our kids actually leveling up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Because before we'd be fucking happy about, the homie just got a YA. Oh, the homie's got a pinta. The homie
Just
got
got out of camp.
Hey,
Brian.
it was good to see like everybody's social media, seeing their going to graduations and seeing their family. It was a great thing.
Right?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So we got the Dodgers Pride Night. I think the Dodgers are completely wrong. They got no
too.
backbone. They did for a second, but this will show you how much power the LGBTQ has. They disinvited them. They said, no, we're not going to invite them. And then they got pressure put on them, and they put them back on. The only way they will realize if we put pressure on
We
them.
were talking today about this, but that specific group that they invited, it wasn't even a normal. The problem with that is you could have, if you really had to do something for them, you could have invited some normal gay people. They invited a specific group. That specific purpose is disrespectful, cross-dressing behaviors.
Disruption.
Disruption.
That's it.
They specifically
That's what they do.
chose something to disrupt and disrespect, which is like, it's like you said, it's blasphemous to all of us who
which
believe.
probably actually hurts their agenda, if anything.
But
No, it definitely
sets them
does.
back.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I read this thing on Instagram. There's something behind the scenes now for like, it's like a rating system for these companies. Have you heard about that?
No, it's
so
100%
these companies
true.
are willing, they don't care, like Target example, they don't care they lost $40 billion. They're more concerned with their credit rating with the system that's behind the scenes.
It's
What is it?
It's a social media credit score, right?
Yes, they're more concerned with that than they are good business.
And who runs it is $1 trillion companies,
Mm-hmm.
and these $1 trillion companies own banks.
Yeah.
They give you money. They
to get these loans and these credit scores, you need to appease their agenda.
You need to appease agenda, and what it looks like in the long run is the agenda is to destroy masculinity.
Destroy masculinity.
Yeah, because why? Because masculine men fight back. Masculine men will ask questions. Masculine men will be like, "Wait a minute, that's wrong." When you have a society of weak men, when you have a society of people who just bow down to the system and have this, you get controlled.
But also, here's the thing that's kind of scary, and I am pretty good with history. If you look back all the way to Rome, every empire only lasts about 250 years.
Yeah.
We're approaching that.
Well,
Number one. Number two, how do you attack a country from within if you're a bigger group that wants to get us? How do you start? You start with like propaganda, like Hitler did. You start with propaganda. You start attacking the male
And that's what's
population.
going on.
You ruin the warrior age. The warrior age is from like 13 to 18, where you're bred into a man, where
Yes.
you realize and you're built. All these things you're talking about, learning structure, realizing you have to work to win. You don't just get to be a winner. You're actually not good looking. Go to the gym. You're overweight. Stop eating Twinkies. You have to be taught these hard truths to build yourself into a man or a woman in society. And whoever's doing this is realizing you attack the warrior males. Our military recruitment is at an all-time low. We can't even recruit cops right now. Right. We are in a seriously dangerous time to any outside force that would want our place in society. If we were to be attacked, our military is sad. The gays are in the military taking over, doing stuff. They flew the flag at the White House. Are you kidding me? Bro, that's the next topic.
Yeah,
but anyways,
the White House.
Bro, so what you do is you attack the males in the warrior
what
age.
they're doing.
You're demasculinizing males that are supposed to have a spot. Women have a spot. This isn't even being misogynist. We all have spots that God designed. God designed these places. I'm not against a woman doing a job. If you want to do it, run that shit, homegirl, run it.
Yeah.
You want to do it, cool. But just don't forget that we have spots that we're supposed to fulfill. God designed this.
Yeah, for sure. Men have a role. Women have a role.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that.
We're not saying that women need to be in the kitchen. And no. We're just saying men have a role. At the end, when we go to war, who's out there dying? It's the men. When Ukraine started going to war with Russia, they put out a law saying all the women can leave.
Yeah.
All
Men have to
men,
stay.
regardless of age, have to stay. If we're that equal like that, then why don't they just say women, you got to put up arms? Because it's not. Men are.
Women's rights are out the window immediately upon we go to war.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden they want to dress.
Yeah,
That's a fact. Sorry, ladies, but that's
equality only works when it benefits certain groups.
And that's a fact. I don't care if you get mad, but truth. I heard someone say you're going to call it hateful when I'm speaking the truth. Sometimes the truth is going to hurt. You might not like it, but it's the truth. Doesn't mean I'm hateful. Doesn't mean I'm racist. Doesn't mean I'm anti-gay. But sometimes the truth is important to be said.
Yeah, the left has gone off the cliff.
Yeah.
If you look back, and I put one on my Instagram in 2008. Back then was Vice President Biden was against gay marriage.
Yeah.
Obama against gay marriage.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton against gay marriage. And let me tell you.
And then remember he had the infamous slip on Meet the Press when he said our ideas are evolving on it.
It's not evolving. No. It's just, we can get some votes from them. That's exactly what.
And it's future votes.
And throughout all that time, I was like, if you want to get married and you're gay, I was like, get your money. It ain't my business. But what happened is they started seeing, hey, man, we can grow a whole audience.
Yeah.
We can sit there and get more votes. Let's sit there. Now we're for gay marriage. And now you have a transgender chick go to the White House, show her boobs. It's like,
that was disrespectful at such a high level. I almost cried.
Standing next to the president.
Dude,
and they removed the main figurehead of our country's flag. Never is removed for something else, unless it's like a state flag, a government flag, a POW, or a war flag. They not only removed the main figurehead of the American flag and they put that rainbow there. Now you disrespected servicemen for generations
for
doing
decades.
that, and then you're going to allow people to run around the White House on the lawn with their shirts and their titties out. Are you
How does
kidding
that
me?
equate to pride though? That's my question. That's what I don't.
But that's the thing. There's a difference. That's not pride. That's sexual deviancy being allowed to run rampant. What they're doing is they want to run around with their genitalia out. We're heterosexual. I don't run around with my dick out. I don't run around slapping a girl's ass. You want to know why? Because that's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
My sex stays home in the bedroom with my woman. I don't need to have a month and run around in panties or boxer briefs because I want to have sex with a woman. I don't need that. That's inappropriate.
There was that time in '92 though.
I mean, there was I was in the pink cloud on Sepulveda one time. Man, yikes.
Hey, Crack's a hell of a drug.
Hey, edit that. Crack's a motherfucker.
It was on Hiawatha and Zelza.
Yeah, I got caught with long tube socks and some boxer briefs.
Raining down my hallway.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's inappropriate behavior, and for you to do it on the White House, taking your shirts off.
Yeah,
there's a standard of like decorum. Like when you're in the White House, you know.
That's the White House.
There's a time if somebody told me, well, Gil, that's a guy because you say no. There's a time and place. Even if it was a guy, you don't go to court in shorts and take your shirt off and walk into court.
No.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for everything.
Well, you used to be arrested for lewd conduct. It was a charge. They stopped arresting you. Lewd conduct in the streets. Now, if you're gay, you get. I think pedophiles and sexual deviants are now identifying in this community because it gives them an excuse to be protected and express their sexual deviancy.
That's what's going on.
Yes, pedophiles, predators, sexual deviants are joining this community because they can
hide under the umbrella.
You can hide under the umbrella and not only expose it on the streets, you cannot be arrested for it too because it's a disability or it's a new way.
But you know what I think? I think it's backfiring on them.
It's starting to because people are getting sick of it.
Yeah.
People
But that's
are
like
getting
every single group. When you look back, people immerse themselves and hide under that umbrella for their own separate agenda.
Yes,
you
it's
have like ultra radicals which do nothing for the message of any of these groups. And
that's why if you notice, I follow a lot of these people that now on Instagram alone, TikTok, YouTube, there's a lot of normal gay people that have worked hard and stayed respectful, and they're complaining.
Gays against groomers.
Yeah, that's one of them. They're complaining, and they're like, wait a minute. I saw an interview. So one lady was like, listen, I got 2 kids. I would never, ever allow them to teach any sex to my children. They should be learning the colors in the Crayola box. That's all kids need to learn.
Yes.
That's all.
There is no business showing kids whether it's heterosexual, it's homosexual. This is what's going on with sex. This is how you in their junior high. This is anal sex. Like, dude, not even heterosexual people. Will
if
have
I heard
anal
my
sex,
kid was
but
taught about
you don't sit there
anal
and talk
sex,
about it in junior high or high school in that matter. It's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's
Way too early.
It's
Well, here's another thing we were thinking of. You can't have a cigarette until you're 18. You can't go to a strip club, get a tattoo or a body piercing unless you're 18. But yet you're going to tell me now that you're going to tell my 4-year-old Jim thinks he's Jamie, so we're going to help Jim be Jamie.
That's
give him
insane.
the medication against your parental right. And then if you don't help us, we're going to take him from you and bill you for it. But yet he still can't even have a beer or a cigarette legally. But you can legally cut his penis off? Get the fuck out of here.
You're mutilating
saying?
children.
Come on
You're mutilating children. They're trying to pass that law in California.
Yeah, it's gonna be
where
a-
a 12-year-old can make that decision that he
gonna
can
be a-
mutilate his body parts. What is wrong with these
If
people?
they're trying to make it a Haven state.
It's insane, brother.
I say we take the valley and we transplant it either in Florida or Texas.
Oh,
we just
man.
cut it.
No.
bam.
If you know how the valley would actually raise up, if the valley would cut itself
Yeah.
off from Los Angeles,
That's been like
they tried.
Like Burbank. Didn't Burbank do that? They're an unincorporated city?
Yeah, but look at Burbank. Burbank's a clean.
Clean.
City. No, it's not no crazy homelessness.
No.
Crime
There's not.
is-
Yeah, the cops don't tolerate that shit
yeah,
out there.
Every
Yeah.
city that breaks away from LA City becomes a much better city if you have money. And
You're right.
San Fernando Valley, man, we generate a lot of money over here.
We do.
We
We do.
we really don't need to be part of LA County.
don't.
It's just real difficult. But from what I'm seeing from this, it's backfiring because one of the sound guys that I have here, he's a liberal, this and that. And on Wednesday we had a show and we were talking after the show and he's like, yeah, I can't vote that way no more. It's like it's come to a point where either you're gonna vote for the crazy fucking orange man, which the globalists want him out of there, right? Or you're gonna vote for you're gonna have kids fucking 12 years old cutting body parts off because he feels that he's this. What is wrong with these people? It's like it's just common sense, but common sense is no longer common.
Yeah.
It's
It's a bet. I don't know what I would do because I don't. When it comes to those presidents, I don't necessarily like either one. I dare say this. In thinking about this though, I almost feel like Trump would be better to stabilize and then get him out.
yes.
Does that make sense? Put him in to stabilize, get us back to someone else to run it. You know what I mean? Like it's a scary time. I don't know what the right thing is.
Well, right now, if it came between Trump and Biden, I'm sorry, I'm going Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I agree,
Straight up.
100%.
I'm
The guy
going
can't. Hey, and here's the thing: until I saw that thing at the White House, I thought Biden was just an old idiot they were taking advantage of. But when I saw him being able to enunciate and interact with those gays better than he could even say his words, that's when I thought, wait a minute, this dude is really just a piece of shit.
If Biden really cared about the country,
Yeah.
he would not run. He would get somebody else to run, like Kennedy or somebody else. Anybody else. But come on, you can just tell he's an old man.
He's not mentally fit.
every
for the
time
job.
he walks up to the mic, I get like
Wait,
anxiety.
didn't he just trip the other day too?
It was a deadly sandbag.
you-
It was a
deadly
racist sandbag against the LGBTQ, brother. Held his.
a deadly sandbag.
Man,
Come on. It's like he's an old man at this point. He's gonna be about 90 when he gets there, and you could be that old and still be fit. But
he's like he's 90 but going on 140 in his mental.
brother.
faculties.
You see when every time he's walking, you see people looking at him like, "Where's he gonna go?"
What's he gonna say? Is he gonna mumble this time?
And then he goes, and he's always at the wrong place, and everybody's just looking at.
They're
They
like,
all know.
Biden, get over here. Get over here. How'd you get over? Put that down and get over here.
He always misses his cue.
Yeah,
he
always.
al-
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you see when he went on the ice cream rant? Kids had just got murdered in mass
Oh,
at the school, and he's like, "Yeah, chocolate chip ice cream. Got it in the freezer. Love it." And he's like, "Oh, we're ready." Oh, kids were just murdered.
No, that's grandpa, bro. That's old grandpa, and grandpa needs to really retire, dude. Just retire, bro.
Yeah.
Give it up. But I think what
Time to put. Sometimes you have to say the honest truth. Though. Remember, I was saying someone needs to be the voice of reality,
reason.
and sometimes reason is not going to be the best. It's going to be reason, but you're not going to like it. It's time to put him out to pasture.
it is.
I hate to say it.
It really
Just
is.
like when you get into the homeless drug thing, it's a reality that 94% of them are not going to come back. Get rid of them.
Hey, so I love.
I hate to say it.
Let's talk about the homeless right now.
Lord, you know I love this
I,
topic.
I,
I love this.
You know what I love? You know
I'm
what
like a
I
mad
love?
scientist. Here we go.
I love the fact that Mohawk Matt was getting the heat that I get. Because people were like, after you guys came
Yeah.
the last time, right? People were on Mohawk Matt. Oh,
You're insensitive.
Yeah, you're
How dare
insensitive.
you? You're an addict.
Yeah,
How
they
dare
they
you?
were trying to bang on me on Instagram. I was like,
Yeah.
don't talk to me, talk
Hold
to
on,
Matt.
wait, let me
Yeah.
take the hat off for this one because I'm excited right now.
Hey, he's the former crack addict. And can I call you a crack addict? Or,
Of course you
can I
can.
call you is it
Call me
something
whatever you want.
else?
I'm an addict. I'm an addict, bro. I represent all that. But
Well,
the
if you
thing
think
that they
it was
don't like,
insensitive before, wait till
the
this
thing
is
that,
over.
but here's the good part about being an addict who peed in his pants, who made his mom pick him up, calling her collect, the guy who forced his mom to buy him crack and slam meth, the guy who learned from all that is also the guy that's going to give you the best answer. You cannot help them. You have to stay away. You have to stop giving them money and assistance. The only solution for these people is to let them.
What do you mean these people, man?
Well, drug addicts. Because there's a difference in homelessness and drug addiction being allowed to run rampant on the street.
Yeah.
I want to say 3 out of 100 of them are actual vets or mentally unstable people. But the problem is now these groups are giving them access to drugs on a massive level that even the normal mentally unstable people are whacked out farther than normal on these drugs.
Yeah.
These companies that show up to give them needles, drug testing kits, free drugs, safe drugs, America, there is no such thing as safe drugs. At this point, every drug is now cut with fentanyl. They've found it in marijuana.
Yeah.
So everyone is watching the news like we are. So at this point, with that law they're trying to pass, stop assuming that you need to be warned you're selling fentanyl. You are selling fentanyl. Right. Everybody knows. College kids, oh, I didn't know there was fentanyl in the pills. Sandy died at the party. Sorry about your luck. Spencer, at this point, everything has fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sell
Get you
drugs,
hooked.
you should already be mentally equipped. Yeah, I might get a murder rap.
But this is what makes me real sad. Matt, you know what?
Yeah.
You can't even trust your drug dealer no more.
No, you can't. It's a great.
What's the world coming to? We can't trust your fucking drug.
I know.
You can't even trust
Yeah.
the drug dealer no more.
When I was, bro,
pillars
I
of our
used to sell
society.
dope. I used to sell speed, P2P, bathtub speed. I'm gonna tell you, I counted on you coming back. I don't want you to die. Matter of fact, here's a break. Here's a tax write-off for my dope, and get some extra. I need you coming back.
I used to do a dirty move. I used to put when I cook rock, I put a little meth in there only.
No.
They were like, "Thank you."
A little, you get aggressive paranoia on
Yeah.
that shit, huh? I used to smoke rock and be terrified of my own shadow. God, that was the worst drug I've ever done.
Let's talk a little about that.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I got homies.
Yeah.
You're the home. What is it about, like, to me it's like, dude, you know you're gonna smoke this shit. You know you're gonna do this raya. You know whatever you're gonna do,
Yeah.
and within an hour you're gonna be like,
An hour? Who gave you an hour?
Well,
14 and a half minutes.
Yeah,
I'm through.
Hey, so wasn't there a point where you're like, well, obviously it did, but
It's addiction. You can't.
It's just- you
that
just-
point doesn't matter. The problem with cocaine and drugs like crack.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing it looking for that first hit you got years
And you
ago.
felt good, and you're-
well,
you're
you
so-
got about a good couple days of good hits on crack.
oh, for sure.
After about a good 3 to 4 days, you're chasing that.
And you're operating straight in insanity, entirely detached from reality.
100%
Like, there's-
insanity.
Yeah.
And it's, what do they say in the program? 1,000 is too many. A 1 is too many, and 1,000 is not enough when it
Right.
comes to most drugs.
Right. No, it's and that is what I know that you know so well.
And I know it. And
But-
people get mad because when you're hit with reality and how to battle it, they want to be loving and caring. And let's just give them water. And then let's give them a puppy for that tent that they're lonely in.
You know what it is? It's like I think they call it virtual signaling or something, where they just want to sit there and say, look, I helped them.
That was my thing too. That I asked somebody, like, why do you do that, to make yourself feel better? Like, what is
Because if you're trying to help the addict, I'm giving you a surefire solution. And my solution will help clean up the streets. And it will cost the taxpayer nothing. Make it, like we said, a loitering law.
And you're speaking from a place that you've been, that
I've been there.
completely broken, destroyed.
I
by
had
drugs,
to be broken,
inside out.
embarrassed, emotionally and mentally broke
Yeah.
for me to finally realize, wait a minute, I've lost everybody, everything. I hate myself. It's time to stop.
And still aware of the reality today that we're one slip from being one of them.
Yeah, I'm one slip from being one.
I'm,
Yes.
I'm a relapse from being.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because I don't think, Gil, I don't think I have another relapse in me. I think if I relapsed at this point in my life, I would end up in a tent. I'd probably die.
You remind me of my homeboy Wino from Pacas.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing. He's been clean for about 14 years now, and he knows it. I do one hit, I'm done.
Same
Done.
here.
I'm done.
I don't have a relapse in me. I
Yeah.
don't. It's done. My life, I might as well commit suicide.
Yeah, you'll
It'll
be,
make it easier.
yeah
quicker.
You'll be done.
Yeah.
But you know the reality of it. Speak to me a little bit, that way people will know the hard truth. You shoot up on your shit, fool?
I did a shot on my dick. Yeah, my
you
last.
shot-
I've
you
done it
shot
a
on
few
your
times.
penis? No,
I said this the other day. I don't recommend it, but
no.
but I don't recommend it. But if you ain't done it, try it, boy.
Hey, Hey, get it out the
Get it out the way.
list.
Hey, for all the addicts out there still struggling, boy.
The dope free bucket list. Jesus.
Yeah, the dope feed bucket.
The dope
Man.
free bucket list. Full fuck sex. I'm gonna shoot. Wait. No.
I've been in the foot, the ankle, never there.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
I got a big vein on my Johnson, and you can't miss that fucker. So I just, hey,
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
they don't call me Girth Brooks for nothing.
How fucking? I mean, how just low?
I was just-
how low and dirty you gotta be to shoot that shit in your?
Well, that last day,
Yeah, how
on that
terrible
day,
were you in life at that time?
on that day, I had done it before when you're with a woman, you're on drugs,
And
just
you-
playing around. But on that last
He's
day,
like playing around.
yeah. I've done the tweaker sexual Olympics. Don't get me wrong.
Jesus.
I mean, I've competed in some events, boy. Oh man, I'm a gold medal winner.
He said when you're with a date, hey baby, so how we doing today?
Yeah, having a romantic
Listen,
evening.
hey, anybody that's done meth, like I'm sure you have, with women in a hotel for hours and days, watching 4 channels of porn and doing meth with women,
on
you've
a
done
sick
some
one.
on a sick
On a
one.
sick one.
Bro, my toenails are fucking bent back. You know what I mean? Like, come on, on a sick one. But look, on that last day in question, I had done it before, but on this last day, I'd been praying to God, to Jesus and Odin, both respectively, back and back. Please, I mean, I can still remember that room. I called it that damn room. I can remember it, how dark and the evil, the feeling, the smell, the sweat, and the lube from watching porn and jacking off, and just I remember the filthy evilness in that room, my mom's house. And I had done 17 shots, the last one, and they weren't working. And if you inject any type of drugs, whether it be meth, cocaine, heroin, if you miss because it hurts. You can't just push. It's not like the movies where you see this big old needle go all the way in and you push. No, you have to tap in. You have to see the blood. The blood will register into a needle and coagulate and mix with the drugs. Then you push in. So I know how to use. That was my 17th shot. It wasn't working, Gil. Nothing was working. I wasn't getting insane. I wasn't getting high. I was just getting angry because, mind you, like I said, that shot on my dick was the 17th shot that wasn't working. At this point, I've probably done enough heroin that killed Kurt Cobain. I got enough heroin in me to kill an elephant or a horse, and meth back and forth. And it was like my last one didn't work. And I was like, what the fuck? It's not working, until I finally woke up. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. My prayers have been answered. God works the way he wants. He doesn't work the way you want. He doesn't show up when you call him. That was 2 weeks of solid praying. And I don't know if it was Odin or Jesus. I believe in both. But one of them showed up, maybe both, and said, check it out. You're meant for better things. You are not getting high anymore. I don't give a fuck what you do. This shit is not working in your body anymore.
It's what we call spiritual awakening.
It's what we call being mentally and spiritually broke, and an awakening to where I was able to stand up and be like, okay, what do I got to do to get out of this room? I look over my shoulder. The room is filth. It's evil. It's hell. I just remember knocking on that door, calling my mom and saying, Mom, you want me to fucking scrub your toilet after you shit diarrhea 3 times a day? Give me the toilet. I'll do it with my hand. I didn't give a fuck at that moment what you wanted me to do. I was willing. I rose my hand like I raised my hand in the joint. I'll do whatever you want. Please sign me up to do it. At this moment, that's how bad it was. And that shot in that dick was just a final cap on my behavior.
So your opinion on the homeless, you're coming from a place.
I'm coming from a place
Yeah.
where I love them and I care about them, but I also know the only solution is to not give them anything but a hug, and I love you, and I'll be here, and I'll sit in this filthy ass tent with you, but what I won't do is give you money, food, deodorant, water, or needles to continue
behind
this.
every great addict is a great enabler.
Yes, my mom.
That's a fact.
My mom was that enabler until like the last 8 months. She
Yeah.
finally she couldn't kick me out because I was a physical tyrant in my mom's house. I took that room over like I was conducting a trap house enclosure. So my mom had stopped enabling me. Nobody was helping me. You have to stop enabling them. All these companies that are wasting all of our family's taxpayers harm reduction, it's crap. It's a way for people like you said, and you said, to feel good about themselves, to give money, but they're making money on these organizations.
Yes,
It's
they're making
nonprofit.
big money, homie.
Politicians are getting kickbacks for them showing up in groups.
Yes.
It makes zero common sense to give an addict a vending machine like we talked about, full of crack pipes.
What about that video we saw today? They came with boxes and bags of hard liquor. They were passing out.
Yeah, they're
to
passing
people.
out hard liquor. Did you see that?
No, you
Yeah.
kidding
Bro,
me,
they're
bro?
they're helping alcoholic. Do you know how horrible the alcoholic detox is? The alcoholic detox is by far worse than heroin, worse than anything. It is the worst for an alcoholic to die or to get off of
So
alcohol.
were they giving the?
I think
free
it was
booze
down
at?
Skid Row.
Skid Row?
It was on
They're
Skid
handing
Row.
out bottles to alcoholics.
Boxes of bottles.
Yeah, it it drives me crazy.
No, but you know what it makes me also think also? Not to be conspiratorial, but this is population control. This could be part of that other agenda where it's like, hey, weed out the weak.
Yeah.
Get fucking rid of these people. We're
But
overpopulated.
also, too, like, my question, too, like, what does it say about a society that allows people? I want to say Tarzan in Burbank. There's a man that lives on the corner
Yeah.
who doesn't wear pants, that cooks it up in his spoon and shoots dope all day on the corner.
And they don't even arrest him.
What is that saying about us as a society if we're allowing this?
Well, we can't. The problem is like those laws they passed where they protect the homeless people over the people who pay taxes and run the stores. Homeless people are now allowed to break into your store and steal from you. If you touch that homeless person and stop them from stealing from you, you are arrested.
And that's the crazy part
That's what's happening.
of California. It's
Yeah. Oregon, Washington, California,
the
yes.
crazy people have taken over. You got Karen Bass coming in here, and now her new plan is, I'm going to buy these hotels instead of renting out the rooms, and then I'm gonna imagine sick ass Matt when he was on a sick one before he realized that. Hey Matt,
I would destroy that room.
Hey Holmes, I'm gonna help you.
I would dismantle that
I'm gonna
room.
give you a hotel room. I'm not gonna drug test you.
If you could have seen the room at my mom's house, that's the same policy. I destroyed my mother's $1 million home in Santa Clarita where she moved to be nice and get a fresh start. I tore it down to floorboards. I tore the fucking
Tweak
room.
the fuck out.
Thought I was Tim the Tool Man Mohawk Taylor. Bro, I had socks too. Boy, if you could have seen me with socks past my kneecaps and boots and a pair of boxers, I had a tool belt on and a skyscraper hammer that was like this big. I had a helmet with a hard hat over that and a bandana with a light. I was Tupac fucking
With the
Mohawk.
mohawk pressed down.
Bro, I was balding. I looked like shit. My hair was
bro.
growing. I was improving this
Oh,
home.
imagine being this fool's neighbor the time out.
Bro,
Here comes
Gil,
Dick.
they were calling. They have an app in my mom's community called Nextdoor where all the neighbors communicate. It was pinging, going off all day
Hey,
long.
you know what's crazy too? Because like I don't recall years, but I remember my mom saying like Matt's not doing good. Like I remember
You
like
think?
and my sister Matt's doing rough. Like
Yeah, rough.
It's a rough time.
It's a
for
rough
Matt.
time, yeah.
Hey, so you were the guy up at 3 in the fucking morning, fucking drilling away and bagging
Bro,
fucking
I had
drywall.
look it. I had a skyscraper hammer. That you never seen those things that they do metal work on like up on skyscrapers in New York City?
Yes.
I had a bandsaw going at 3 in the morning. The floor, I was swinging from a chandelier with a headlamp on. There was fucking Leonard Skinner playing full blast, mind you, out the window with the window open. I have sheets on the window.
And his
They're-
mom and dad are
my mom
the
are
sweetest
they're-
people in the world.
They're hiding under blankets. They've moved down into their couch. They don't even come to the stairs.
don't wanna go up there.
They pass by the stairs with a crucifix twice a day like this. Mijo, please. You know, my parents are even Spanish. They're speaking Spanish.
Happy Father's Day, Mr.
Happy
Cameron.
John.
Like,
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day.
John, I love you, man. Thank you.
Man, you put your family through some major shit.
Boy, that's why I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to battling
but you're
this
the
stuff.
perfect guy to speak about it.
And people don't like that because it stops them from making money. This isn't about money. Are you here to help or are you here to make money? Remove your this isn't about you feeling good because you've made a mistake and you want to give them needles.
handing an addict drugs is not an act of compassion.
It's not
I don't care
handing him
how
a
you
safe
slice it.
handing him a safe kit to test your drugs. There is no safe drug at this point. There isn't. There is no safe drug. Stop thinking you're going to let him test his dope and do safe dope. Do not give them crack pipes, needles. Stop giving them puppies. America, stop giving homeless people intense animals. It's inhumane.
It's the virtual thing. It's I'm helping.
You're not helping. They don't need an emotional support dog. They need medical attention and a psychiatrist.
They need rehab, Holmes. They
Yes.
need Jesus.
They need Jesus.
They need Jesus. Straight up.
Well, speaking of Jesus, you know that there was something in the Bible that relates to exactly what we're going through. It's called Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh shit.
We are living, you know the story of that? We are living in that sexual deviancy, incest, homosexuality, drugs, lewd conduct on the streets, corrupt government, every single sign of what God did. God rained fire down on this city. Everyone who was not a sinner was allowed to walk into the desert. God gave us a warning. If you're a believer, go to the desert. Do not look over your shoulder. Walk into the desert. Should you turn and look over your shoulder, you will be turned into a pillar of salt. Right. Lot's wife was turned. She's the last one. She made the mistake and looked, boom, salt. Everyone else was, those angels came down and boy, you think of gangbangers, you think of Michael, Raphael, Uriel, the top archangels. Yeah. They came down like gangsters, boy. That city was torn us under. And we're living there.
So now let's man, what's the song? The Gangster, the Killer, and the Dope Dealer. We got the American Cholo, the dope fiend, and the penitentiary guy right here.
Yeah.
So now let's
I'm
switch.
sweating.
Let's no, you're but it's true, dude. You're passionate about it. And I love it. That's why I want to have this conversation.
Yes, and people need to realize I'm not kicking them in the face. but I'm not going to give them anything other than
You're
I love
being
you.
insensitive, Matt.
Yeah, and I could tell you, like, I know this dude personally. Like, he comes from a place of compassion.
Yeah.
Like, he really cares about people.
course.
I want to see everybody win.
Yes.
My team, your team, my enemies, your enemies. We don't need to be enemies, but there also comes. This is common sense, and like we said, common sense. You might not like the truthful
not so
answer, but it
common.
is the best answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for an example, a dog that's dying. The dog's dying. It's in pain. It's time to put it out of its misery.
Yes.
You don't keep the dog alive because it's suffering.
Just
we
for
have
you.
to pull the band. Yes, for
just
you
for
to
you.
feel better.
Yeah.
You
You're
call
gonna
it quality of life. Like, what,
yeah,
like, this
what
man on the
quality
corner,
of
what
life?
quality
This
of
man,
life
his
does he
leg
have?
is falling off. He's got what's it called? Gangrene in his feet from
what's
something.
going on over there
These
right
people
now,
are
dude.
dying. It is.
You got that Narcan shit going
And
on.
thousands of people drive by him day in and day out, and it's
And-
become normal.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And-
normal.
And then people will, I'm gonna buy you McDonald's. No, don't.
He'll
feed the
trade them.
bears.
Yes, he's trading the McDonald's for drugs in the tent next to him. The drug dealers live with them.
Yes.
You're just everything you give them, they're trading. It's
So now let's switch it over to the penitentiary fucking gentleman here. How many years in?
29 in, next month will be 1 year out.
Jesus, that's
Yeah.
insane. Ugh.
hey, about to get off parole. They're kicking him off early.
That's
Yeah.
what's up,
Yeah,
homeboy.
I'm up for
Good for
discharge,
you.
yeah.
Congrats,
Yep.
my man. Congrats.
Yep.
No cash bail system. That is the new norm as of Wednesday. Before we get into it, so I don't forget, the only good thing I see about the no cash bail system is this: if you got a funky ass warrant that's on some DUI type shit, some
Traffic tickets,
some traffic
misdemeanors.
tickets, go turn your punk ass in. Go turn yourself in on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Get
You can
cited
get out.
out.
Do your 7 hours.
Yeah, do you if you
Have
if
a
you-
burrito in a Van
if
Nuys
you
holding
got
tank,
if you
yeah.
got one of those warrants, fool, right now is the time to get that
Yeah,
warrant
yeah.
cleared up because you don't want to be driving to Las Vegas with your family, get pulled over. Right? You got a warrant and you're fucked. So right now,
extradite.
that's the only good thing I see. Other than that, it's you can rob people, you can burglarize people. Those are non-violent crimes. I think even some of the domestic are non-violent crimes. Even some certain sexual battery are non-violent crimes. That's
crazy.
So what's going on right now is people are getting arrested and they're getting released. What do you say? What do you say?
This is. I was just talking to a good friend of mine who's been in reentry and policy making in this arena for about 15 years. And it's hard because I benefited from SB 260, which was basically if you're under the age of 18 and you committed your crime, you have an opportunity to actually go home. So I didn't just get released. Like, I had to go through a process. I had to do years of therapy, emotional intelligence, anger management, restorative justice. Like, I had to present myself in front of a parole board. So I had to work to come home. Now, I'm conflicted. Like, I'm seeing the bar to go home getting low. And my fear is that we're going to return back to the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me to say that because, I want people to go home. I want people to have the opportunity to go home. And in prison, actually, now you do have the opportunity to go home. But there's some people that they don't belong out here. They don't belong out here. I'm a family man now. I love my family. I love my nephews. I don't want these people around him.
There's
You know?
some people I was saying, I've been in the joint and I've been around some people that, you got guys like us that are there. We get involved. We do what we have to do. We keep it within the spectrum of gang life. Like I always tell people, gangs, we attack other gangs for the most part. Every now and then, an innocent person is hurt, and it's tragic for us. Society never gives us that chance to tell that side of the story, that we're not out there targeting innocents. It happens occasionally. We're sorry for that too. But like he's saying, there are some people in prison that are really bad. They need to be there.
Predators.
There are some people,
And they're not interested in getting better.
and they don't have any. They're so what are they called? They're sociopaths.
Yes.
There's some people that are disconnected from the normal. I don't want them around you, your kids, him, his family, my mom. They need to be away. There's some people that need those jail cells. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it comes back to the same thing. The virtual signaling. Oh, I care about you. It's not fair for people to sit in court. No, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
If you're robbing somebody and burglarizing their home, you should sit in jail. You should sit there because why are you going to do it again? And eventually you might go and burglarize somebody's house.
And you get killed.
Yeah.
Or
you're gonna
what if you
somebody.
kill someone innocent, their daughter on accident in a struggle?
I went to the parole board for the first time in 2013,
Yeah.
and I was given a 7-year denial. Had they paroled me, I would have been a fucking menace to society.
Yeah.
I
Really?
was not prepared to go home. I presented my case like I was.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to manipulate the system and do it.
Yeah.
Thank God that they saw through my bullshit and denied me that.
Yeah.
But I would have been a terror out here.
Yeah.
Nothing had changed in my life by that point.
And that's the stuff that I love about this conversation, the honesty of where you guys have been, because a lot of times when I say, "Oh, you just forget where you came from," I'm still here.
Well, no, but as we've grown up, like we talked about last time, I love my neighborhood. I love my homeboys. I love my gang. I love my prison friends, and I love them, and I mean that with my whole heart. And I miss some of them a lot, and the relationships are awesome. But I've also gotten sober, and I work and I pay taxes. I don't have an extra seven. No offense, but I'm not a millionaire. I don't have an extra $750.
Right.
And a lot of these laws, like we almost need them to be back a little bit, tighten up a little bit. We're too far. The pendulum swung too far now to where I don't respect cops. I don't fuck with them, but I also don't get in their way either anymore.
Yeah, they're just doing their job.
They're doing their job. I stay out of their way. I'm not committing crime. They honestly don't fuck with me that much anymore. Now that I'm normal, look at me for crying out loud. They really don't fuck with me for the most part.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, because my energy has changed. My energy has changed. They're drawn to bad energy. So I'm not doing nothing wrong. But I pay taxes. So again, like watching with the homeless thing, like what's the incentive of me trying to, like, I've been considering renting my own shop by SoCal Tattoos in Reseda to sell merchandise, sell stolen clothing, and sell the shit I like, right? Well, what's my incentive to do that and pay taxes and sign up for a license and a business loan and to pay rent and pay utilities if they're gonna let the guy who decides to put a tent in front of my shop break my windows, cut my water in the back? That's what's happening in my homeboy shop, SoCal. Shit. They cut into his water and his electricity. He gets a $9,000 bill a month for each utility. Shit. So what's my incentive to have a business and contribute to the community I live in if you won't protect me? So they're not really doing their jobs in arresting these people who should be in jail, and the rest of us who've worked hard to change, we have no protection.
If you would have been an addict at this time, you would have never got clean.
Fuck. If I would have been an addict right now, there'd be no way of getting clean.
There's no incentive.
There's no incentive to get clean.
There's zero incentive for these people to get clean. There's no consequences. I used to get arrested. Dude, the cops in the valley, I used to get arrested for crack. I must have had 3 or 4 arrests for possession. That was a felony, each one. A piece of crack the size of my pinky. That's a felony. These guys get arrested with bags of meth and guns, and they just, it's okay. Go back to your tent. Homie.
They don't want to do the paperwork. They don't want to do the paperwork.
But here's something, and I'm going to speak honestly on this, and this is going to bother some people, but it's one of those uncomfortable situations that's going to be truthful. I talked to a cop recently. They're not really allowed to do their job. They're actually told to stand down.
Yes.
So imagine a cop saying, dog, I wish I could arrest your ass. I can't no more. We're told to stand down. And then again, they have to worry about LGBTQ suing them, BLM suing them. There's all these other groups that are attacking them, so they can't technically do their job anyway. So they're in their patrol cars under bridges taking naps for 9 hours. He said, we will I'm not going to say his name, but we will deliberately not answer calls that are coming because we don't want to respond to these situations because why? We can't do our job anyway. So what's the point?
You'll get crucified.
There's not enough cells to...
Well, I mean, in our day, we were overcrowded. So there's got to be like a rational. The pendulum swings this way, it swings this way. It's got to get back somewhere in here to where, you need to start arresting motherfuckers, but just don't overdo it. Like with the over sentencing and the over. Like it went so far with the crash unit and all the abuse that then it swung this far so left that now you have to basically murder someone, rape somebody, or start a fire to be arrested.
We
need to get back a little bit.
About 9 years for a murder.
They're doing. I have a homeboy in the system right now. They've offered him, I think, 10 for a murder, on camera murder.
It's definitely changed. Definitely changed. So let's change it up a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about who runs LA, Holmes. Unfortunately,
Swifty Blue.
And oh god. So unfortunately, in like the podcast world, the LA scene, you have those kind of conversation, like who runs LA? I won't say what gangs or whatnot, but you have people like sitting there. Why is it that we are stuck on such low level conversation? Because let's get down to it. Karen Bass is the mayor. I'm sorry to tell you people, but she's the jefa. Whether I'll agree with her policies or not, she runs LA. The sheriffs that tell you shut the fuck up. The sheriffs that tell you it's time for you to take a shit. The CEOs that telling you turn your lights off. We're sitting here talking about who runs this. No, homie. What we gotta do is elevate our game. And why do you think that after so many years, like The Irish went through it. The Jews went through it. The Italians went through it. Everybody went through their gang scene and their gang phase, but they eventually elevated their gangsterism and now own business doing things. Why do you think it's taken us so long in LA to sit there and actually start elevating our fucking game?
Well, you see what happens when you try to elevate. I've seen you have conversations to try to elevate a conversation, and look what comes. Look at the price you pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's not popular. It's not popular to talk about positivity. You look across YouTube, like we're talking about YouTube today. That's like the ad seg. It's like the whole for social media.
Yeah.
The majority of the stuff on there is garbage.
Yeah.
It's mindless garbage.
Yeah. Shit talking.
Yeah, it's pure
disrespect.
It's pure entertainment, and there's nothing entertaining that's going on in society. Like we're suffering, we're in full decline right now.
Yeah, yeah, we're missing all those topics while people are just being rude to each other. I still come from like our last conversation where like I grew up different. Where like when it comes to our uniform, what we do with guns and all, I don't talk to people like that on out loud on media on platforms. I'd rather have this conversation. These are what's interesting
And
to
not
me.
to say that there's a time and place for that. Like
I mean,
you know,
there's. I mean,
like,
I'm gonna reiterate again. I grew up where when you're gonna act like that, you're gonna move like that right after you talk like that. You're not. There's not gonna be a 6 weeks wait for me to show up. If you're gonna act like that constantly, people have found a way, like you said, to just talk across the tier and add seg because that's what that is. I mean, none of us should be conducting ourselves like I was not raised like that.
That's why I was telling him I equate like YouTube to people like in the hole screaming behind doors,
Acting like children, throwing cups of piss and like,
supposedly
come on now.
having all the klecha and being Mr. Gangsters, and this is what you're doing?
Yeah, but gangsters don't act like that.
No.
We know this, but unfortunately, that's what you're seeing out there. And it's like, are we really still having these fucking conversations? Like, we're trying to elevate the conversation, but unfortunately, it's like that garbage sells, homie.
Yeah.
That garbage sells.
Unfortunately, it does.
Unfortunately, it does. And hopefully, we can eventually start. And that's why we're trying to build this platform where we can have homies like this and have actual intelligent fucking
Yeah,
conversations.
because I'm not gonna have a celly who puts his feet on my bed or hangs his feet over
Chris,
the
put the
bunk
number
bed.
up there real quick.
Put your coffee cup on my locker.
We just talked about that. Don't touch my toothbrush or my creamer.
Let me get the Bluetooth. Meanwhile, Matt's gonna talk about his '92 event when he was going crazy and shit.
When I had my long socks on,
Yeah.
bro, I think I had Star Wars bikini briefs on with the Millennium Falcon in the front.
A hard hat with a
I had a hard hat on and
flashlight duct tape to the top.
I might have been a wife beater 4 sizes too small.
We connected, Chris.
Ready for a Dodger game.
Yeah, connected for audio.
Yeah,
All right, people, go ahead and call in 818-538-9330. 818-538-9330. It's what do you guys got going on this weekend, man? Chilling?
Yeah, spend some time with my sister, with my girl.
You don't got kids, huh?
No.
You?
Stepkids.
Yeah, stepkids or kids?
Yeah.
You ever regret not having kids because all the stuff you did and all the time you did, or it was probably best?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of always did. Like, I'm glad I didn't have one in there because they would have grew up without me, and it would have been the generational absence of a parent. So, but I do have I have my nephews. My girlfriend has an amazing daughter, Madison. So I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
You ever regret not having?
No.
You're just happy to be free, fool.
I'm happy to be free. Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah, it's hard.
29 years. I still, it brings me chills, fool.
Yeah. I even had a moment today. We went to the swap meet right here, the North Hollywood swap meet when it got a jersey. And I remember just looking down, seeing my reflection in the mirror, and I looked at him like, "Fuck, I'm out." It's crazy.
Caller, who's this?
This is David.
What's up, David? What you got, homeboy? Talk to us.
Is there any certain topic y'all talking about, or is it just like a free?
You calling
free
in,
talk?
homie? Whatever you want, carnal. Just don't call me Susie.
Or late for dinner.
What you got, homie? Talk to us, David.
Well, I don't know, man. It's just how do y'all view the world and how it's going right now with the economy and stuff? Y'all think it's getting worse, or is it getting better?
No, I think it's getting worse. Not so much just the economy, the inflation, money. The dollar bill isn't worth what it used to be. What the gas prices are, what rent prices are, what housing prices are. It's become a system where somebody who works a regular 9-to-5 job and isn't making over $150,000 a year, the American dream is slipping away from them, especially in California, homie.
In California, huh?
Let
me ask you this, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shoot.
Do you think brotherhood can actually change that?
What
Do
do you-
we actually have power, like
Oh, like,
meaning
you
as
mean-
power in the people?
Yeah, we do. We do. Our
Absolutely.
voting power is our power, but the problem is that we just continue to vote the same way, especially in California, without changing it up. Because if you change it up, all of a sudden you're a racist, you're a homophobe. No, man, our voters are power.
I think also we have to show up to vote and then you get a lot of guys like us. I don't think we can vote as felons. Number one. Number two, you have to watch what they're voting. You have the government tricks you when it comes to laws. They hide them inside other bills and they try to sneak stuff in. They'll drop the bill without warning you a bill's dropping. And then so that's the problem. We need to address that first. And like I was talking to Lomi last night, they're trying to pass that bill for fentanyl dealers being punished more severely. I agree with it. But the wording shouldn't be 19,000 paragraphs. It should simply say, hey, if you're selling drugs, there's fentanyl, you're held accountable. They give it these paragraphs that are 17,000 words. They're confusing. It also gives them back doors. All the bills are wrote like that so the common man can't understand it, and they do it behind our backs, drop them when we can't make it to the voting places. So it's a bad system.
Yeah,
it's
why
a
does it
failed
take
system.
5,000 pages to hold a
No, it
fentanyl dealer accountable.
Fentanyl dealer, you're selling drugs, it includes fentanyl, you can be held accountable for murder, attempted murder. Simple. You don't need 19 paragraphs. They do that deliberately to confuse the layman and the working man because we don't really have time. You come from a day of work on the job trying to get home, you're trying to make it just to vote to make a difference. There's 17 things. If you don't be very careful, they hide them. The child molester laws keep getting changed because they're hiding them inside other ones that you can't see.
Yeah.
So it's not a fair system. The whole system needs to be simplified and ratified. And then, like you said, as brothers, we could make a difference, but they make it hard.
There you go. All right, brother. Thanks for the phone call, player.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, and they do, especially when it comes to voting.
Yeah.
Dude, they will.
It's insane. If you looked at one, my mom showed me. I'm like, Mom, how do you? She goes, I try to focus on the important ones, and she goes, but then I always miss other important ones because they're hidden inside there.
This year for sure, I'm gonna sit down with Notorious because younger people, especially, they don't really keep up with that, and we're gonna actually do the
Dissect it?
Yeah, we're gonna dissect it. I'm gonna break it down like
Should
this.
do
is
it
what
live
this-
too.
Yeah.
And then we can all do it, watch and fill out the same shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get your form, people.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead, sit there, and then someone say, "This is what it is. This is the way I feel about
Yeah.
it." In other words, I'm not telling you to vote this way.
Vote your conscience.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
yeah.
Vote your
but I'm gonna
conscience, yeah.
educate you.
But I'm
yeah.
gonna educate you
Unbiased,
and break
yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
See, this is the beauty of out here. It's the same game, homie. It's the same game as when you were in jail, but over here you don't get shanked in the neck for voting the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get in the ass. You get in the ass lifestyle wise.
Angel Santa Maria, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
Talk to us.
Good. Hey, so I had a question because you're always advocating for people to vote red, and my thing is I think here in California it's not so much about voting red; it's just not voting for like the Salute Carbo Halls anymore and all the guys who've been around for the longest time. But what I wanted to ask is, well, why do you think voting red is gonna really like make a dramatic change in everything when we just came from a president who was, full on red? We had Trump, who, $7.6 trillion were spent under his watch alone. And you got to wonder, like, does that have anything to do with inflation? Because, obviously it does. Every president spends a crap ton every,
Well,
8 years.
I'll tell you. You don't have to go that far. I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because right now what we have is a super left liberal agenda that doesn't want to, like, be responsible for drug addicts. They want to sit there and enable them. They don't want to be responsible for criminals. They want to sit there and hug them out of crime. They want to sit there and think that this is a beautiful utopia. That's not the way. And to me, when I say vote red right now, is to wake these people up, especially in California. In California, Latinos have a huge number. We can run this place, but we can run it respectfully. And to me, it'll be a wake-up call to the Democrats that we don't agree with this, man. We don't agree with people robbing your house and being out on no bail the next day. Yeah. We don't agree on somebody setting up a tent in front of your house, shooting dope when your kids are walking by and nothing can happen. We don't agree on tents being by the schools, shooting up dope. Yep. We don't agree on that. There was something wrong. So in other words, it'll send a shockwave down the system saying, hey, Latinos are actually waking up. They're not voting blue anymore. And to me I'm not telling everybody to vote red, vote policy. But until we move off that tip of voting for Democrats, they won't know that we're for real. Right now, I made this before. We are the one with the biggest table at the restaurant. We have the worst service. But we continue to tip. We continue to give money. So you know what the restaurant says? They don't care. Just keep giving them shitty service. I'll give the better service to LGBTQ. I'll give the better service to the BLM.
Yeah.
I'll give the better service to the Jewish people. I'll give the better service to these people. But to the Latino, they're fucking dumb. They don't fucking pay attention. They're going to keep voting Democrat. And I'm saying stop fucking being that dumb, people. Wake up.
Well said.
Okay, so I think I see what you mean. Then it's not so much you're not trying to be a Republican or anything like that. It's just,
To me,
you're trying to wake up the Democrats. Then.
To me, it's this.
That's
To
more-
me, it screw both parties respectfully.
Yeah.
To me, once you pick a party, it's like picking a gang.
Yeah.
It's like picking a gang because what happens is they all get together and you can't say this. No, to me, it's no. Hold them both accountable. Vote policy.
Yeah.
And to me, the policies
vote for
of
what's
the
right and
Democrats
wrong.
right now are destroying this state. And it's plain as day. But unfortunately, if you say that, oh no, you're just a right wing guy. No, homie, I'm a guy who has a family, who holds a mortgage, who goes to work every day, who wants better for my community. That's it.
We're lower. Myself, I'm going to speak. I'm lower to middle class white guy from San Fernando Valley. I don't agree with either party. I agree with what's right and wrong from guys that grew up struggling, working, looking for the right answer. That's it. And that wants to keep our families secure and our homes safe. That's it.
Funny how that is. You got this guy, the Brutus guy, YouTube bully.
I
In
saw
other
that.
words,
Yeah.
AC is advocating for more incarceration and stiffer criminal penalties. No,
couldn't be more for
How did he get that out of all
Well,
we said?
because people just want to see there and look. To me, if you did something wrong, you should be punished. That's how we learn.
Well, that's how I learned.
That's how we
You want to
all
know
learn.
how I got off parole and changed my life, removed tattoos, and got sober? Was because I had to be punished.
Yeah.
You can't just give someone a pillow and a stripper and some needles and drugs.
Why the homies got so much power, and that's one thing that they got right, is because of structure. And you fuck up,
You
you
learn.
get punished. You gotta learn. If it's a free for all, then there's no learning.
That's
look at my case. Juvenile hall, YA, camp, until ultimately they sat me down for fucking 29 years.
there's a lot of
When
good
there's
things.
a penalty,
Yeah,
you're gonna fall
Well,
in
there's
line.
also a lot of good things you're taught when you're a consequence. You have to be punished. You learn how to get along with other men and
Hey,
contribute.
brother, I appreciate the phone call.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, I appreciate it though, man. I was just trying to understand it.
No
'cause,
problem. That's
you
why
know, I just.
That's why we open up the phone lines.
but,
Homie. Communication is key.
You don't know until you ask, I guess.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we all got an opinion.
Yes.
We all got the right to say what we feel, too. Like
Yeah.
you guys have been through some. I mean, especially the guy with the tattoos over. He looks like he's been through some shit.
Yeah,
You just caught me in 92 with them. You caught me in 92 with them socks on, boy.
Socks and a hard hat.
I tell you, let me tell you, man. If I seen that guy in a dark alley, man.
I'd probably be the one to walk up and say hi to you, though. I'm so nice, it's not
Hey,
even funny.
brother.
Hey,
Yeah, thanks for the phone
sometimes
call.
the meanest looking dudes are the nicest dudes everywhere.
And then
Nice
Hey,
talking
man,
to you,
guys
brother.
have a good night.
you
man.
too,
You
bro.
too.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, OG Steve, thank you for that super chat. What's good, girl? Salute to the platform and the gas, homeboy. Yeah, and that's what it is. But people are so quick to just want to. This what, especially with the platform. You know what they do with me? They dissect.
Yeah, they dissect and they hyper focus on something like that guy just did. You said, you missed a great conversation where we're actually guys that come from that. Look how we've turned ourselves around.
Yeah, and
Punishing helps. You can't just give everybody a candy bar.
You can't, homie.
That doesn't do anything.
You can't.
What did we say the first time? It goes back. I use that all the time now. Stop fucking feeding the bears.
Yeah, don't feed the bears. Homie.
There's 20 bears outside your window. Stop feeding the bears.
Don't fuck with cats.
Caller, who's this?
Whew, that's a whole other topic.
Hello.
Hey,
Yanni, what's good, homeboy? What you got to say?
man, yeah, I just like the point you made about, how these these Republicans and the Democrats are a bunch of gang. What people don't realize is that basically everybody out here is a gang. But when people say, it's a gang, they just think about thugs and all this. But the real thugs are the ones with suits, having the power to change stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't know, all this LGBTQ thing is just, to me, I necessarily believe that it's just to divide us even more, because at the end of the day, all this crime, all the things you see, just like in Philadelphia, nobody's doing anything, at one point the people are just gonna start saying, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna follow whatever the government has to offer, and we're just gonna go with them. And then from there, all free speech is over.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at this world.
Yeah.
That's one of my opinions. I don't know if anybody else sees that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, brother. But that's why we come together to make our voices be heard, and we can change the system, homie. We can change the system with the pen. That is the most powerful thing in the world.
And how important this is, rather than looking to Washington, like local, like
It's major.
yeah.
We have to start local before we get up there.
Like I think everybody should become aware of like the representative in their district. Like start there
and get
in
on their
your
bumper.
area, you know.
And get on their
Hey,
bumper.
thank you for the phone call, my man.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Late. Alfonso Gomez, congratulations on the new studio. Proud of you, Gil. Cali Max in the building. Yeah, and the reason I say that is so you guys go up there. We got the please donate stuff. We're trying to, raise some funds for any. Listen, any war, you need funds. And when I say war, I mean this in a positive way.
Yeah.
Our war that we're having here on American Troll Podcast is war against drug addiction, against crime, against gangs, to try to elevate the system where homies aren't talking about, my block's better. Nah, homie.
or to secure our homes and the rights of
Yes,
parents
for,
and families.
For our families, brother, for the community.
Yeah.
This is the war we're on. We're on the war
Yeah.
where we want to make our community a better place, and we believe that this is the way to do it.
Yes.
All right, we got a call coming in. Alonso, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
It's going good, my man. Talk to us.
Hey, I'm just calling in. I've been watching the show for a couple of weeks, especially when you get on the topic of, supporting Trump and stuff like that. I'm not against Trump. I'm just kind of indifferent. I want to be clear that I'm African American and Chicano. My father came here back in 60 or 69, 68 from Jalisco. He met my mom in the 80s. And I was raised up here in Northern California, so I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
But, my opinion on the whole situation is, like when it comes to politics, because that's when you really get my attention on that stuff, is, I think if Trump, in his first 4 years, if he wouldn't have said so much, he wouldn't have got so much heat for his time in office.
For sure.
Because if you really think about it, me as a middle class American, I got 4 daughters, and in his 4 years, none of his policies or anything like that directly affected me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if for me that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I can't speak for everybody else that it may affect it. But I think what more affected them than his policies was his comments and his tweets and stuff like that.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So I think if he would have just, kept quiet and, pushed out his agenda, certain things would have came to light about him. And, as all politicians, none of them are clean. They all got their skeletons as we all do as individuals, but these people as politicians, we know that they have their own agendas. They have their own skeletons and things that they've done. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. She got her husband or her got pulled over in that DUI. And I mean, if me and you got pulled over in that DUI, we'd be front page of the paper, and everybody would be bashing us.
For sure.
But we haven't even seen a booking photo of either of these people.
What Trump did,
So,
what Trump did, his issue, and I spoke on it. I'd say I fuck Trump too. Was he came out and he disrespected people and said all kind of foul shit because he's not a politician. But let me tell you who's very much like Trump, and you wouldn't believe it, is Barack Obama. Very much, believe it or not. The difference is Barack Obama's smooth. Barack Obama will tell you exactly what Trump's telling you, but in a smooth character way.
Bro, I was gonna say exactly the same thing. He's well polished.
He's well polished.
That's a good terminology. Well polished.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. If me, you, or anybody from middle class America, hardworking person went and ran for office, we may not say some dumb shit like Trump may have, or I'm not going to say dumb, but let's just say some personal shit that would hurt people. But at the end of the day, things we would say wouldn't come off as a polished politician.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So he's not a polished politician. So I see it as a average Joe got lucky and somehow got that job or that position, and even though he's not a politician, he's speaking like me, you, and the average
Speaking
citizen.
truths.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it may offend people,
No,
but
it
at the
doesn't
end of the
make
day, the hardest-
it offends people.
Hey, but never again, I don't think, will you ever have a sitting president or somebody in office who will literally tell you what they're thinking.
Yeah, with him, you know what
Never,
you're getting.
never.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
That part
Exactly.
is refreshing
And-
in a way.
Is he a dirtbag? Yeah,
And it is.
He's a dirtbag with the
and
major.
again,
And he'll tweet from the
and the reason
his
why
shitter.
the reason why I brought up I was African American and Chicano is because everything Trump said or tweeted in his time of presidency or even now, you would think it would affect me or offend me, right?
Right.
But I was born in 88, so I was out here a little bit before the internet and all this other stuff. So I went to a school up here in Northern California where I was one of 25 African Americans, because I look African American, but my first and last name is Chicano. Okay, but I was one of 25 African Americans on this campus, and I got picked on by Hispanics. I was called nigger all the time until I told the principal, I told the teacher, and nothing came of it. These kids kept picking on me until I started telling myself I'm not going to be a punk. I need to stand my ground.
Yeah.
My dad was off working crab boats in Alaska. My mom was here. He was always gone 6 to 9 months out of the year, and he would always come back. So I'm not going to say my dad wasn't there, but you can understand he was not consistently there. So when it got to this point, I just said, one thing I'm not going to do is be bullied. So I stood up and I stood up to these people. And now these people are my friends, and maybe I just needed to do that. Yeah. So I needed to stand up for myself. And I think that's what a lot of individuals, without being violent or offending other people, needs to do is stand up for themselves and speak truth, even when people are out there bullshitting and don't be afraid of, speaking not your truth, but the truth. Everybody has a hard time doing is swallowing the truth or dealing with the truth.
For sure.
But it shouldn't fall on, it should still be someone or our responsibility to speak that truth.
For sure.
And that's why, even though Trump or even other politicians like him, whether red or blue, I look at them and their policies and where they stand as individuals. It's not about party. It's not about colors. And I'm not going to fake the funk over here. I never got into black politics in the streets, but I was in the Hispanics. I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic
all right,
neighborhood.
my brother. I'm gonna have to start cutting you off because now we're gonna do an interview with you.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No worries. Appreciate the call. Appreciate the insight, man.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
Hey, most definitely. You keep doing your thing, and you got my love and my support.
That's
here, brother.
right,
Keep doing
homie.
your
Thank
thing.
you, brother. So trip out on this. I had this conversation on Wednesday with Bruno, actually.
Okay, right on.
If you didn't follow politics at all, if somebody didn't follow politics whatsoever, and I told him, hey, who does this president sound like? Deported the most people ever. That they actually called him the deporter in chief. One. Killed the most people with drone fucking hits around the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was a wartime president and a major one. Had a 16-year-old American citizen killed with a drone shot. You would never think that's Obama. That's Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a gangster. Barack Obama was Trump. But the difference is
He kept his
he's
mouth shut.
polished.
He was
No,
better. He's better at it.
he's very polished.
Yeah.
He literally had a 16-year-old get bombed in Yemen and get murdered because he was a terrorist. And wait a minute, aren't 16-year-olds don't have the right capacity to make up those kind of right? But that's the difference. Beto, what's good? Talk to us.
Yes, sir. Hey, tengo una, con Barack Obama, es cierto que estás diciendo, man. Yeah, honestly, I gotta give it up to Trump because, in those days, Barack Obama, he came with that, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, dude. Listen, I was still when I had the conversation with my homie, the first thing I told him, because he was going back and forth, I said, Barack Obama was a great president. I'll stand by that.
And
bro.
he inherited those wars. in
He
his
inherited
defense.
the horrible wars. He inherited the horrible economy. He was a great president. But what I'm trying to push is he's the same guy as Trump. He's just more polished at talking.
When you get down to the
The nitty gritty, homie,
Yeah.
the two big homies were the same. Just one knew how to talk to the people, and the other one was more of a dirtbag developer.
Yeah.
That's what Trump is.
All right. So one more question.
You
Hey,
should.
so with all that Mar-a-Lago thing going on with Trump, you think they're using him as an scapegoat for something bigger?
No, what they want, they don't want the guy to run.
Yeah.
They do not want the guy to
Because
run.
a lot of these other presidents have had that same issue. They're not focusing on
Biden
it.
had it at his house. in his
So what
garage.
did Trump? Hillary got caught with all those
Hillary-
illegal
and
emails.
they-
Come on,
and then
she
she
should have been
erased a
arrested.
bunch of them. They got phones. They got their phones with hammers, broke their phones. Like no, they all do it. But the problem is that Trump is not a globalist, and Trump is saying some shit. He's exposing the game. He's exposing the game, and by them doing that, I think are getting more people behind Trump to sit there and fuck it. Right now, if it was between, I'm straight up, if it was between Trump and Biden, I'm sorry. Before I would have said this, I'm only for fucking Trumpito, homie. Because this old geezer, the Democrats better come up with something better than this, homeboy. Because that's not gonna be my big homie.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get destroyed in the yard, homie. Let's keep it 100.
We're gonna wreck the buffet.
Yeah.
We're gonna wreck the
You
buffet.
know,
Yeah,
you know
we're
what?
going to.
What major weapon the Democrats have is Michelle Obama.
No, they got the media.
Yeah, they have the media.
They got the media,
The media is
homie.
the biggest weapon right
got
now
the media.
ever.
Media.
Hey, brother, I appreciate the phone call, homeboy.
Okay, okay.
Brother, late. All right, so we've been off for a minute. I think this was a dope ass podcast. What you guys think, homeboy?
Always amazing.
Yeah.
What's up,
Let's
you guys?
just not let's not bring back 1992 anymore, though, please.
No, dude, and that's where we're heading to, bro.
Not with me. I cleaned up my act, boy.
I don't know. Well, you want hit away from fucking. Hey, but you know what the crazy part is? That if Matt smoked crack and started or do it meth again, he'll go more viral. And he'll get this is the
I'd probably go
this is
Swifty
the
Blue.
sad society. This is the sad society will be if you were in a tent going live, you have all kind of people sending you money.
Would I have it'd be a sullen tent?
It'd be,
Come on now. bro.
I'll make sure
You
to
would.
Get, I'll,
You would.
Hey,
Now-
I'll make sure to give them the American Cholo shirt.
Yeah. Be getting views like a motherfucker. I'd have
product
products.
placement in the
Hey,
background.
and I'd have a fucking Bluetooth speaker from who knows. I'd be sponsored by Bluetooth. I'd have a TV in that motherfucker.
We in today's society, we sit there and reward bad actions.
yeah.
That's what's going on right now. We reward bad actions. And anybody that speaks against it, all of a sudden, you're a homophobe, you're insensitive, you're this. But this is a perfect panel, homie, because this is a panel of
Common sense.
common sense.
We're looking
but
at
you,
and-
but you got a guy who you can't sit there and say he's insensitive because he's a drug addict. He's a drug addict.
I'm
You
not
got-
insensitive,
You got
but
a
I
guy
am-
who
I'm
you can't sit there and
against-
say you're insensitive against crime because you pulled 29 fucking years, homie. Like, come on, homie. There's
I was the definition of crime, enemy
Yeah,
of the
and-
state.
yeah.
You know?
And you're the definition of doing hard time and doing it.
Well, like you said before, I feel like our politicians should maybe start wising up and asking people like us and stop asking. No offense to Susie from Agora, but Susie from Agora has no concept of the streets.
Yep.
We know the streets.
Yes.
I know the streets in, out. I know what works, what doesn't. And that's not even snitching. That's just I can help our community.
Like in policy
in
making.
politics. Yes, like you want to stop this. Real quick example: Skid Row. Skid Row will dissipate in about a 6 to 9 month period if you stop allowing all of these help groups to show up in record numbers to give food, showers, water, deodorant, pet food, needles, crack pipes. Stop it. Remove
Billions
it.
of
Remove it
dollars.
for 9 months.
Keep it functioning. Yeah. to give it-
You're
yeah.
keeping these people here because it's the bears. The bears are outside because you're feeding the bears. The bears don't leave until there's no more food,
But I
and
think
they've
the
destroyed your
alter-
trash cans.
The alternative is what? That's the question that's being had.
The alternative is, and
If,
this
if
is
they go into
okay,
jail,
but here-
now it's
No,
$100,000.
but here's the thing.
We're back in Camp City.
Rehab
Yes,
camp.
we have we have
Rehab
an
camp.
idea, but here's also the cold, and this is where people get mad at you. But you have to also look at reality along with help, and along with common sense, along with compassion. You have to be prepared that we're probably going to lose some people. You have to be
Yes.
ready that okay, it's a hard fact. Nobody wants to deal with this because nobody wants it to be their loved one or their family. But some of these people are not making it back. They're not coming back.
Yeah.
They're far gone on the spectrum. Now, we can't physically provide for them. We just can't. Like, I don't know what the right answer is on that angle, but I'm trying to keep everybody's mind in the right place. In reality, we're not living in a fountain with honeybees and rainbows and unicorns. We're going to live in reality, and the reality is that a lot of these people are not going to function back in our world. They're not
That's
going to make
just
it
it.
back. So we have to find a place to take them, or they. I mean, we have to clean. Bottom line is, we got to clean house.
The
dog.
money's there. The money's there to do
Yeah.
it. but it's being allocated to the wrong
Yeah.
places. So with that being said, my fellas, my Vallero Hour, I think this was a
sir.
great fucking podcast.
Great.
We're gonna reschedule it for maybe next week or the week after that, but we're gonna definitely make this part of the show.
We're on deck.
We're on deck,
Yep.
homie, to have this conversation. So with that, people, make sure to hit that donate thing. Help us grow the channel. We're gonna sit here. We're doing bigger and better things for 2023. We're out, baby. Have a good Friday. Happy Father's Day. Let's
Friday.
go.
Happy Father's Day.
Hell yeah.
That was
boy.
dope.
Hell
That was
yeah.
dope. We did that.